Howdy y'all, Fast Forward 289, welcome back. Have you ever wondered how to lubricate a speedometer cable? Maybe it's making a little bit of noise, maybe your needle is jumping. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that, so let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we got. Okay, so it all depends on what kind of vehicle you're working on, how you take the dash apart, but essentially you got to take your instrument cluster apart. So we're going to be working on my 1976 Ford truck for this video, and if you want to know how to pull these dashes out, they're very simple. Where the screws are, you got one here, one there, one over here, a screw there. You got to pull your windshield washer knob off, headlight switch, and also for this, you got to pull the radio knobs off, take the nuts off, and it'll come out. If you have the original bezel, this is aftermarket where this piece is made to this, but if you have an original, this is separate from this, and there'll be a screw here in the corner and a screw also right here. But anyway, I'm not going to show the process of taking it out because each vehicle is different, but the lubrication of the cable process is the same for all vehicles with a speedometer cable. So I'm going to get this taken apart and we'll come back afterward. All right, now like I said, you got to remove your instrument cluster however yours is held in. In this case, I got 4 screws in here that I have to remove, and then this whole piece will come out and you can disconnect your instrument cluster, the speedometer cable and all that to pull it out all the way. All right, so once you got to this step and you got your instrument cluster removed, however you need to, some speedometer cables, this is speedometer cable here, you can see the cable we're going to remove is right in here. It just pulls straight out. Some of them are shallowed where you can grab them with your fingers, but some of them are made like this where they have this collar and you can't get your fingers in there. So what you need to do, take a pair of needle nose pliers, pin there, and grab that cable. And it'll pull straight out like that. Once you get it started, you can just grab a hold of it, twist it a little bit, and it'll pull straight out. You want to pull it all the way out. And there we go, and there's the end of it. Now we'll get it cleaned up, and I'll show you how to grease it. Okay, so I got this cable laying on an old blanket that I don't care about. You see this is that retaining collar. This goes up toward the instrument cluster. The other end does not have a collar. That goes down into the transmission, into your speedometer gear. And what happens a lot of times is these will get dry. It's kind of dry up here. It's got old grease on it. You know, you can kind of feel it, but it's not lubricating like it's supposed to. Down here, it's got transmission fluid on it. So it's lubricating down here. It's just not up. And the transmission fluid don't necessarily work all the way up. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up really good with some brake cleaner and a paper towel. You want to use something that doesn't have a lot of lint come off on it. Put a little bit of carburetor cleaner or brake parts cleaner, or you can use alcohol. And we're just going to rub this cable down and clean it really good. And get all the old grease and all that off. And you can see, look at that. And we're just gonna go through and wipe it down like that a couple times, and then we'll come back and dry it, get a new one that's dry and wipe it down. All right, now once you got your cable pretty clean, so I got it clean like that, you're not gonna get it absolutely perfect, but it's a lot better than what it was. You wanna get the bulk of the stuff off. What we're gonna do to grease this with is some petroleum jelly or Vaseline. And the reason why is because back in the day, and even still now, people will use Vaseline when they're building transmissions to lubricate things to put together. So basically if it works down in the cable and gets into the transmission, this will not hurt the transmission, whereas graphite or something like that may. So you don't want to use anything that could be harmful to the transmission, that could leak down the cable into the transmission. This can melt down and get into the transmission. It'll melt down and become one with the fluid, and it will not hurt the transmission at all in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to take a little bit of this on a finger and just rub it into the cable all the way. And this is what they used back in the day to lubricate these old cables anyway. So it works perfect, and it'll stick on there and it will lubricate it and work great. So we'll do that down the whole cable, get a good coating on it, and then we'll come back. All right, so when you feed this back in, you want to take your time and try not to make a mess. Feed your cable back in, and you may have to twist it as you're feeding it in. Where it goes into the transmission, you may have to work it back and forth a little bit and twist it until it goes all the way in. So I'll make sure it's down all the way as far as it'll go. Once it's in all the way, you can put your instrument cluster back together and you're done. If you ever wonder how to disconnect these old 70s Ford speedometer cables, you simply just see how it's got like a lock tab there. When you're behind the dash, you just push this over like that. It releases the lock collar and then you can pull it straight out. Alrighty guys, well that's it. That's how you lube the speedometer cable in any vehicle that has a speedometer cable. So I hope this video was helpful. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. And as always, I thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all on the next one. Take care.